problem.
Okay. Right. Where was I? Yes, VR. Why VR? So COVID impact. We received some funding, and I set about creating the dental virtual reality dental clinic. What was important was that I wanted to create 360 videos and photos of places that the students were used to using, i.e. the outreach dental clinics or the clinic here at Whitechapel, because I felt that it was important to train those students in a virtual reality environment, which was as real and as close to the training that they get in their normal clinical day. Okay, sorry about that. So I wanted to begin by highlighting the differences between 360 video and traditional 2D linear video. And it is very, very different. When you create a 360 video, you have the whole of the environment to play with around you. So you can take advantage of that environment because you can create lots of different scenarios, multiple stories. You can create, you can have embedded video within the 360 environment. You can have quizzes, links, images, lots of different things. But you really have to try and think, how am I going to take advantage of that 360 environment instead of just creating a normal 2D video? And this will become apparent a bit later when I show you. So what we decided to do with the funding was create two scenarios. An adult nervous patient visits the dental surgery, and a child nervous patient visits the dental surgery. And these scenarios were created by two subject experts, Dr. Amitha Renata and Shabana Yunus, who have been amazing. The idea was that these scenarios are not clinical. They're not do something in the mouth. They are very much aimed at how you react to nervous patients and nervous children as a dentist, and how we train our students to do that. So we started with a script written by the subject expert Amitha and Shabana, and then I changed that script with some help into filmable scenes. So they have a script, but they also have all of the add-ins within that scene document. So when are we going to put an MCQ in? When are we going to put a little video explaining why we do it this way? Are we going to use choices? The key about it is to review the whole process a lot. It evolves even on the day of filming, because you have an idea with staff and students there and subject experts that might have a better idea than you. I'm very lucky at the Institute of Dentistry. I really am, because we have some amazing staff here, and it is essential to have staff buy-in to any project. And I'm really lucky that lots of my staff help me amazingly. And this is, whilst I manage the project, it's not my project. It's all of the people's project on the screen here. It's Amitha's, it's Mark's, it's Dominic's, Shabana's, and even the nurses such as Kajal, and obviously Catherine, who used to work for me and helped me a lot on the project. So, as a part of £30,000, I went shopping, and I did a lot of investigation. Catherine and I did a lot of investigation on the correct 360 camera to use, the correct headsets, software that was actually going to be able to allow us to actually create these VR environments. And also I needed a laptop that's actually powerful enough to edit 360 video. What we ended up going for was a Insta Pro 2, top right hand corner of your screen here. It looks like an alien. It was very, very expensive, £4,500. And to be honest with you, if I had the choice again, I wouldn't buy it. I would go for the one in the middle here, which is the Insta One X2. It's much simpler, much easier to use. And all of this equipment I can negotiate a loan on. The Pico G2 headset, this one in my hand here, I don't know if you can see this as well, is absolutely fantastic. It's about £300. It's very similar to an Oculus Quest. You can use Oculus Quests if you want to. And the reason we went for scenario VR is because it's a web-based program that allows you to import 360 videos and photos and overlay all of the things that I've been talking about, MCQs, videos, quizzes, that sort of thing. It's also not that expensive. I was looking at my notes earlier, and it came to £3,000 for myself and another user to use that software for 5 years. So I've got a 5-year license. We're only in year 1. So I didn't think that was too bad. So the thing about the project is that I had no expertise, myself or Catherine at the time, had no expertise in 360 filming, in 360 editing, anything. So as a part of the project, I did get some training from a company called Video Interaction. They were great because they helped with the scripts, they advised on changes, and they were, as you can see in the photo, present on the filming day. And they helped with the adult scenario, the first scenario. So the filming day itself, what fun. We employed an actor as the patient in the scenario. The adult scenario was the one we did first. But because we felt that a lot of it was scripted, and we needed someone who was used to being in a filming environment and scripted and using scripts, we could have used a student, I suppose, but we had some money, so why not go for a professional? The dentist, the subject matter expert, I felt, everyone in the project felt, should actually be a dentist. We could have used an actor, but it wouldn't have been as natural. It wouldn't have been as flowing. The scenes themselves wouldn't have worked as well with an actor because they'll have got stuck on technical things. So we used a real life dentist. And also we used a dental nurse in the background. We're lucky to have a dental outreach centre on the Isle of Dogs down in, well, it's on the Isle of Dogs. It's called the Barkentine Centre. It's at the top right here. And we basically had the whole place for the day, the whole of the dental wing there. And we filmed in the reception, in the waiting area, in the clinic itself, and in the dental bay, as you can see on the bottom right. And during the day, we obviously created the 360 video, but we also separated out the audio so that we have a separate audio recorder for audio. I highly recommend this. And we also made a lot of 2D video inserts that we were going to put into the 360 environment after we'd finished the filming of the 360. It was such a fun day. It was amazing. I had a great time. We learned a lot. You can see my alien 360 camera here. I don't know if you can see my mouse just in front of my head. Okay, so luckily for the first time, Video Interact actually edited the 360 footage and showed me and my team how to actually do this, which is really useful because I have now just finished editing the child scenario, which I'll talk about in a second. They helped me edit the 2D inserts, which I can do anyway. But there was a lot of thought that went into what images do we want in the scenario. So you'll see at the top here, there's a picture of a prescription. So that pops up when the patient talks about the drug intake that they have at the moment. I'm quite confident now that I can edit videos in 360. And I have been doing that over the last couple of days. I'll show you something in a minute. Which is good going forwards because it means I won't have to use Video Interact. Okay, so just before we actually launched the adult scenario, or will launch the adult scenario, I thought it was important that the students themselves got used to using the technology that we were about to introduce to them. And so I came up with the idea of an escape room. So what I did was take 4 360 images of our pros lab and then went through and used Scenario VR. It was a great way of me learning Scenario VR, to be honest with you, to basically add games, add quizzes, and add little bits and pieces so that the students could get used to using the technology online and actually through a headset as well. And before I show you the adult and the child scenarios, I'm going to show you this escape room. And here it is. So this is the web interface of Scenario VR. Everything you create in Scenario VR, you are able to publish to the web like this, so we can take a look around. But also to a VR headset as well, and that's accessible via an app on the headset. As you can see, you can move through the environment. You can look up and down. Whoops, there's a tripod there. I must edit that. So you can look up and get stars. You can click on things. You can insert video. Sorry, I'm going to turn this down a sec. And you can have actions and things. So you can say, if they click on this microscope, then turn all the flames on in the room, and you'll see all the little flames come on. You can superimpose. So I've superimposed numbers over these lockers here. They're not actually numbered like that. And you can also move around the environment. So you can collect things, you can look around, and you can even drag and drop things. So you can play games. So this is a sharps game where the students have to put the sharp objects in the bin. I'm sure all of you are thinking about different scenarios that you can create now. I think I'm going to be busy. But basically, they can do things and then it will give them stars or give them something if they do it correctly. There you go. What else can you do in here? You can hide things. And there's a variety of different bits and pieces you can add. I think you're getting the idea. I'm not actually going to show you how to escape because I don't want to ruin the game. But clues and things, it's all very, very intuitive to use. So 5 down and 3 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. That's not right. That would be a red herring, that one, wouldn't it? So let's try this one. With the use of variables, as I said before, you can have it display things that you've collected. So I've just collected the number 8 tooth, and click over here. I can get the number 1 tooth, and you're starting to see how you can escape now because you fill up these numbers and find the right locker. So that is the ProsLab escape room. It was well received by the students, I hope. I think it gives them a good example of how to use the technology, get used to playing with stuff, with clicking things on in the environment. And that paved the way, really, for the adult nervous patient. And the adult nervous patient ended up having 8 scenes with patient interviews at the end as well. There's lots of choices within the adult nervous patient. So when taking a medical history, we filmed a patient with asthma, with diabetes, and also with social history, we did people who were dependent on alcohol, had a bad diet, and who smoked. And the scenario changes depending on which choice you select. There's lots of 2D video inserts in there, and there's lots of MCQs. So rather than me talk about it too much, just before I show you, we had some fun one evening when I tried it out on the staff. It was in the staff room in the Institute of Dentistry, and I had to put them on chairs in the end because we were having real senior people in the Institute of Dentistry knocking into walls and falling over benches, and I didn't want to get sued, so I put them all on a chair and let them play around in the VR environment. We were about to have a launch event for the adult nervous dental patient very soon. So, I know you've all been waiting for this one. This is what we've come up with in Scenario VR. Again, I cannot explain how much better it is in a headset. It's all well and good me showing you looking around here, looking around the Barkentine and clicking on menus and things, but until you experience it, actually standing with the headset on and looking around and getting vertigo, looking down the stairs, I can't explain it. You've got to actually see it in 3D in VR. It still blows my mind. So, as I said, we started with the reception check-in. Here she comes up the stairs. This is what I'm talking about, vertigo.
Ben, I can't see anything other than you.
Oh.
Which is lovely. But if you're explaining your video, I can't see it.
Okay, one sec.
Thanks.
Does that not share it?
I don't know about others, but I can't see it.
Okay, one sec. What about now?
Yep, I can see it now.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
it's coming up now. Thanks, Ben.
Sorry. I think I just stopped sharing.
Again.
Yeah, I've got it. Oh, too many things. Okay, let's try this again. So.
Yeah, see it.
Okay, let's just restart this one, which is obviously not working. I hate you, computer. Okay, so here's the reception check-in. It's the first scene with a little bit of information. Here comes the patient up the stairs. Here's the rest of the Barkentine clinic. And she'll now check in, do the check-in procedure, and a video will pop up in a second explaining why and how the procedure should take place. At any time, you can stop the 360 environment and pop up a video. I won't leave an ether on there for too long, but you get the idea. And then the scenario can carry on. This is quite a basic introduction one. Let's take you through to one of the other ones. I can never remember, so let's try dental. So here we are in the clinic this time, and in the bay. And what you should be able to see is things pop up. So here's a open question that I've asked the students, and you can get it to do certain things if they get it wrong. So you could display one video if they get it wrong and another video if they get it right, or you could move the scene on to another section if they got it correct or incorrect or whatever. And the answer to this one, I hope, is open questions. Good. And the scene will move on. You can also have links. So there's a variety of places where links pop up on the screen, and you can click on them. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. Oh, I've done it again. Sorry, stop sharing.
And so it was really painful. And then eventually they broke the tooth, so I had to go to hospital to have it taken out. So it was all just really horrible.
And so I hope you get the idea. Basically, lots of interaction, lots of different ways in which you can interact with the content and actually start to build a learning journey. And you can see, you get videos and all sorts. Okay, stop sharing. All right, let me just close that for a second. Okay, so that was the adult nervous patient. We have just literally filmed the child nervous patient at Barkentine last week on Wednesday, and I'm busy editing it now. These are some shots of the day, lots of VR and things, and I can exclusively show you a little intro to the child one, which is very similar to the adult one, but obviously with a child. And here is our child version. It hasn't got all the bells and whistles yet. I've just literally finished editing it yesterday, as you can see. And this is, again, very, very similar, but with a child nervous patient this time. I'm not going to show you too much, but you get the idea. Okay. So I've finished editing that. I'm just going to put it in Scenario VR next. Okay, the future. I've been asked by the HEE as a part of the funding process. I've presented a couple of times to them to go to the regional dental schools liaison committees and actually do this presentation, because they are very keen for this technology and this technology to be used wider in other dental schools. and also for me to show them how easy it is, really. I'm going to present at the Festival of Communities. We're going to have a stall, and hopefully lots of people using VR. I think it's really important to integrate this type of training into the curriculum, and I think that's going to be a real focus of mine. It's all well and good creating these amazing resources, but until there's buy-in from the tutors to actually use it in their lessons, in the places that they're teaching it, you may as well not do it, because they'll look at it once and just that'll be that. So integration into the curriculum is key for me. Lots of different ideas have come up as a result of me showing people what we've done so far. So I know there's an idea about creating a dental clinical bay where you could drag and drop the right tools and things to where they're supposed to be. Lots of different other ideas from other academics. I put a question mark after this next one because I thought that the floodgates might open and I might become QMUL's VR person. But basically, I'm quite happy for other departments to come and talk to me and borrow this equipment and use it if they wish. And I will quite happily assist in that. I'll even come to the filming day if you like. Some other ideas that I've had, we're going to create a 3D map of dentistry. So all the seminar rooms and lecture theatres used for like open days and things like that. If you need to contact me, there's my email address and my telephone number. Can I just say a special thanks to Catherine McLean, who used to work for me. She's now moved to Central E-Learning, who helped a massive amount on this project. I could not have done it without her. So thank you, Catherine. Okay, that's enough of me talking. Has anybody got any questions they'd like to ask me about the project? I'm going to stop sharing now. It's all gone quiet. Michelle, yes.
Hi, Ben. Thanks for the presentation. Very interesting. I have.
Sorry, one second. I'll turn my sound down. Okay, go.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, I just have two questions. I missed the very first minute, so you might have said this already. Did you use Scenario VR to do all the editing, as in AV plus all the interactive parts or the interactive tools?
Yeah, sorry, I should have made that clear. So after we filmed it in 360, I use Adobe Premiere to edit it, and I use Photoshop to mask the little tripod at the bottom. Yeah.
And for the quizzes?
Quizzes, that's all in Scenario VR. So all of the interactive elements, everything like that is all in Scenario VR. I'm quite happy to do that. So
you create the video, final video, and then you import it and then add all the interactive tools. And can I ask you another question? I filmed something myself a few years ago. I think it was 2018 with the Oculus, for the Oculus headset. What I noticed, like the first time I used it, I was quite impressed because I was not, of course, used with having videos all around. I was using the headset, but then I realized there is a massive drop in video quality, as in taking the single files like raw footage, the quality is quite high, but then once you put them all together in 360, the quality is not that great. Is it still the case? Because as I said, I filmed these like many years ago.
Yeah, it's interesting because this the camera itself recorded in 5K, and to be honest with you, in order to get it on a headset, I dropped that down to 180, 1080p, because it just will not cope with it. That being said, I do make two different versions, one for the headset and then one for online. And the online version, because you've got more bandwidth, computer's faster, it will take up to 4K quite easily. And Scenario VR will only do up to 4K anyway. So it's not as bad.
Okay, cool.
It's worse. You have to decrease the quality for the headsets, but that's a technological thing. As soon as the headsets get better, I've got high hopes.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Okay. Claire, I think you're next.
Thanks, Ben. Really interesting to hear what you've been doing. So it's really exciting. I just wondered, for taking one scenario, say the child scenario, how long did it take you, would you say, from start to finish for that project? I know you're on a learning curve, so obviously it's probably a bit longer than it might, like, with more experience. But
It's probably a solid week.
Right.
So the script creation first, and then the scene creation takes a long time because you're negotiating with the academic who wrote it and trying to change a 2D script into a 3D thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think the editing takes a while as well. So the editing of the 360 has taken me, for all of the child, it's taken me about 3 days. But that's only because I've had to learn how to do it. Now I know how to do it. It will take me less time.
Sure.
And then the scenario VR stuff, again, probably 2 days for the whole thing. Solid. So yeah,
Fantastic.
a week and a half, solid. Something like that.
That's pretty quick considering it was the first attempt.
But that's not my timeline if anyone asks. Okay, if my boss asks, it took me 3 months.
That's great. Thank you.
Ferranti, you're next.
Oh, thank you, Ben. I think it's exciting. You show us that it's the big room and with people there. How good is the camera? Can you do close up? Looking for people, if I do a procedure on a mouse, can I use the same kind of technology to do a 360 as I'm sort of doing a procedure and show the students they can do a 360?
Okay, where 360 falls down is close-up things. So it will do beautifully a room with lots of people walking and interactions. What it won't do is if I put it next to someone's mouth, it'll be awful. So the way I would counteract that is I would do a 360 video with an insert of whatever you wanted to do in the mouth. So I would film that separately 2D and present it in the 360 environment, because it's much better to have a 2D video of that than it is to have a 360. Does that answer your question?
Okay, so there's no those kind of thing. I mean, yes, I think there's no some micro, like those one that with on the stick and all that, you can sort of get into a small mouth and just 360 inside mouth. No such thing as a microscope type of a 3D camera.
I don't think my 360 camera will fit in your mouth.
Not this one. I think technology is a small one. Unless you have a big mouth, always.
It doesn't at the moment, as far as I know. I don't think you can at the moment, but I like the idea.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All righty. Sharon.
Hi, Ben. Thank you very much. That's amazing stuff. Apologies for asking a stupid question, but is it possible to embed something like this into a presentation, for example, PowerPoint?
I don't know. I don't know if there might be a plugin for PowerPoint. I don't think so. The only way I've been able to embed it really is through a SCORM package in QM+, so you can download the actual scenario VR. You can have it on the web, but you can also download it as a package for QM+ or for other VLEs, but not in PowerPoint as far as I know.
Okay, thank you.
I do have a tool called Lectora, which allows you to import it and then show it on a website as well. So if you wanted that, I can do that.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Cassie, you were next.
Hiya, Ben. Yeah, thank you. That's all. Yeah, that looks really, really cool. I wanted just to ask you what your vision is for how to embed it in the curriculum. You were saying obviously it looks amazing when you've got the headsets on. But is this something that you think would be best if students are doing it, say, beforehand, a bit like a flipped learning thing where they do it web-based, or would you prefer it? I mean, prefer it, but the students come in and wear the headsets and do the activities that way.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit of both. I think that first of all, where it's displayed where it's taught in the curriculum is important, because I'm going to focus on with the tutors on actually coming in and doing things and showing them the environment when it's being taught. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because I was imagining, as you were saying, with people moving around and people falling over with the VR sets, whether the students need, like, I don't know, training in how to use that first time round. Like
I have asked the students for a volunteer group of exactly that, of actually piloting how we loan these headsets out and how we actually introduce them to it, because I have images of students bumping into walls and breaking headsets as well. Yeah, I think we'll probably do that on a group basis. So we could do year 3 group 3A or whatever, couldn't we, at a time?
Okay.
And then 3B and then 3C, you know, small groups.
Right, cool. Thank you.
Okay, Graham, last question, is it? I think last but not least, Graham.
A couple of questions. One thing, I wasn't quite understanding what you're saying about dropping the resolution being necessary. It seems a bit strange thing to have to do for 360.
Okay, yeah. Essentially, the reason I have to is because these headsets are basically an Android phone with an Android operating system or a basic operating system on them. They're not as powerful as the computers, so they're essentially.
Quest 2 will do 360 at 5.7K. I think even 8K.
Will it?
Yeah.
Well, I just want to speak to you then, because I'm dropping the resolution.
Yeah, because you know you're only seeing a fraction of that in your field of view. So if it's 4K, you're only getting 1K across your field of view. So if you're downing to 2K pixels across, it must be it's pretty blurry. So generally, I you know I've seen a few things, but I wouldn't look at anything below 4K.
Okay. I will have a look at those.
Another quick question, just on your cameras. I know some of them can do VR80 as well, VR180 as well. Does yours? Sorry.
Both of those two I showed you can.
They can do. Have you experimented with that at all, Ben?
Not yet.
It's a better 3D view. So you can get in closer with that. It's proper 3D, whereas the 360, well, from what I've seen, I don't know what yours is like, but the perspective isn't quite right. The size, you can't gauge the size of things properly, but actually a VR 180 is more like sort of IMAX type view.
Yeah,
limited up to 180 degrees.
Cool. I'll have a look into that. I know that they both can. I've seen the option. I haven't played with it yet. That's all.
Yeah, I think always just have a look on YouTube or something. I'll search and see, get an idea of what it's like. Might give you some inspiration what you can do with it.
Cool. Okay, James, you're next. Thanks.
Hi, I was wondering, have you actually, because you talked about some students where you were hoping the feedback was good, but have you actually tried out with students yet?
I've mostly tried with staff with the adult one that's ready. I'm looking for students. Students are difficult because they don't engage very much with me. I sent an email last week saying I want VR testers. Please come and talk to me about VR testing, and I've had very little response. But I think it's important to pilot it and make sure that you iron out all the errors before you launch it to everyone. So definitely, it's just a circumstance thing. It's been because everyone's been at home with COVID, and especially I was about to launch it before Christmas, and then everyone had to stay at home. So it's been a bit delayed, but I'm getting there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just wondering where in the process you are right now, but then I understand. Thank you.
Okay. Swati.
Hi, Ben.
Hello.
That looks absolutely fantastic, and it looks so wonderfully engaging. I'm hoping this is going to catalyze engagement from our students who are way more tech savvy than we are. Well, certainly can't club you in the same category there. But thank you. That looks really, really promising for education as well as for assessment. I just thought I'd mention that because it's education for assessment and off assessment. So we should definitely work on something to do the assessment element of it as well. Brilliant.
Absolutely. Good. Okay, well, if there's no more questions, can't see any more hands. Let me just check the chat. Sun shining on my screen. Okay, I think we're all good. If you have any questions, please just email me. Or if you have any further ideas about VR or want to talk to me about VR, want to do it yourself, want to borrow the equipment, then you're more than welcome. Just drop me a line. Okay, thank you very much, all of you, for attending this afternoon. Have a great afternoon, and I will see you later on.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks so
Bye.
much, Ben.